At the State Memorial, Kings Park, on the 28th of May 2025, 9 Aboriginal soldiers from World War I, represented by proud family members, were honoured with commemorative plaques for their sacrifice. They are not forgotten.
But when they came home, they were not actually recognised.
This is what we are looking for, to recognise our fallen diggers.
I feel proud that the powers to be have recognised their efforts.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our young people and boys and girls. Welcome to the 2022 Indigenous Veterans Commemoration Service, where we come together to honour, pay respects and acknowledge the contribution and commitment of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander veterans
for a long time before and for a long time to come. We pay respects to our traditional custodians and our elders past and present in our continuous connection to country, waterways and culture. I extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today, and further to all current and former servicemen and women, the reason we are all here today.
These 9 brave men are being commemorated today, and I would like to add my thanks to the works of the 8 schools that have participated in the research, which will now and belatedly be able to finally honour these 9 faithful warriors for their service and their sacrifice in the Great War.
My name is Lynn Murphy and I am representing my great uncle, Henry Mason, who was killed in Belgium. Today I thought was absolutely fantastic. It represented him and other fallen soldiers as well, and it couldn't have been better. I think that the legacy of his service was absolutely fantastic. As Aboriginal citizens, they did a lot towards Australia as far as fighting in the war, but when they came home, they were not actually recognised. It makes me feel very sad that this happened. I think they need more recognition, and it's just taken so long for them to be recognised.
Good afternoon, my name is John Hassel. I'm representing Michael Connor. Michael Connor is no blood relative of mine, but the family is very happy to represent Michael. He was adopted by my great-grandfather and brought up by him and employed him, and when my great-uncle died at Gallipoli, he immediately enlisted and went to fight in World War I. Unfortunately, Michael died of illness at Paris, but he's buried in a cemetery on the Seine in a Commonwealth Wall of Grain in a Paris cemetery. I think today was a really great event, as we know how badly the Indigenous soldiers were treated after World War I and World War II, and they finally got some recognition for their service. I'm so glad that this has happened today. But at least we have somewhere to come now to lay flowers and remember them on Anzac Day and Remembrance Day. I think he would be exceptionally proud. As I said, he was an Aboriginal man that volunteered to serve his country and he died for his country. I think he'd be very grateful looking down from us now, see what's happened today.
So we are the great-grandchildren of Private William John Jackson, service number 1952.
William John travelled to Europe to fight in World War I, and unfortunately was killed in Flers, Flanders, in France in 1916. Great day, great event, and beautiful event run by yourselves and all the kids from the various schools that were involved. It was quite amazing.
Well, there's 9,600 schools in this country. Every school should know about every Indigenous serviceman that has, whether it's World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Malay, whatever war they've fought in, we should always commemorate their service.
But not only their service to the country, but also their connection to our country and the culture that they come from.
My name is Susan Ford. I'm a niece to Thomas Henry Ford, who went to the World War I in 1915 and died in 1916. He ended up at the Australian Imperial Army and jumped on a boat and went to England and got sick. He was killed the first day he landed there in Belgium. This is what we are looking for, to recognise our fallen diggers.
My name's Sean Lehman. I'm connected down to country down around Albany on my mum's side, which is how I'm connected to Harry Rawson, who was one of the fellas commemorated today. I think today was pretty incredible. These are fellas who are in the ground a very long way from where they come from, and I think remembering them and the sacrifices they made, particularly in the context of an Australia that didn't necessarily treat them very fairly if they were to return, it's important to remember that, and worth very much to me and the other families. I think he would be very proud to be respected in this way, and I think his brother Charlie would be very proud that he's being remembered in this way too.
I'm Dr. Bill Hayward, the nephew of Augustus Farmer and Larry Farmer, who we commemorated today. It was a great ceremony. A lot of people, they came out and supported the function today. It was pleasing to see from a point of view that these fallen soldiers had been previously forgotten. At the start, laying of the plaques was something that we will honour and bring our descendants around to show and to keep telling the story of these uncles who, under difficult conditions, went to war to do their part for Australia. Today they were recognised for that. I'd like to say that I'm a direct descendant of my two uncles, Augustus Farmer and Larry Farmer, who were the brothers of my mother. They called to arms, and they were two of four brothers, the others being Uncle Lewis and Uncle Ken, who went to war and did their part for Australia in the First World War. The ceremony, I felt really proud about being there. I got a bit emotional at times because it's something that a lot of people attended, and it was good to see that finally, after all this time, they've been recognised for their efforts. I feel proud that the powers to be have recognised their efforts, and to be there with the crowd, the amount of people, which was a lot more than I thought. If I was able to see my uncles here today, I would just hug them. I would tell them how proud I am of them, and I just make it known to them that they did the right thing, and that their family and everyone are really proud of what they did.
You don't realise it until you're here and you feel the honour, and they are our uncles, and other people are recognised, and it's just so strong, lest we forget.
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 Seb, why is this project important to you?
I think it's really, really special that we get to sort of investigate fallen Aboriginal soldiers and find out more about them and contact their families.
We're talking about Larry Farmer, who was one of the Aboriginal soldiers who fell in the war. We're very proud to do this because a lot of the Aboriginal soldiers were not remembered.
My name's Indy and I'm working on the Honour Avenues research project. I'm writing a biography for Private Henry Mason. I'm really passionate to be writing this because as a proud Aboriginal woman, I feel like it's been too long.
I'm proud to be a part of this project because so many men died and were not recognised for what they did for this country. And only years later, they finally get their recognition.